Hello there, and welcome to the OOB Podcast. I am Smaran from grade 10.
And I'm Tarun also from grade 10.
Let's talk about food. It's pretty much my favorite thing in the world, and that's only like 20% exaggeration. Over the years, I've noticed my passions and interests transition from other things like bands and music to food and restaurants. I'd rather save up 30 dirhams to try a new restaurant than go see a band. I'm not sure how or why this transition took place, but it has. And though it was always a reason why I travel, food has become one of the most important things in my life.
Same here, Smaran. I've found food to be one of the deciding factors when choosing a new place to visit. But food isn't the only reason why I might travel somewhere. It's also the only souvenir I bring back. And it's the taste and the smell that always brings me back, even when I'm long gone. So, here are some of the top 5 places to visit that are famous for its cuisine and culture.
Berlin and its burrito craze. When deciding to visit Berlin, the biggest concern is to do with food. Well, the language too, but we will be able to find a way eventually. German food was always mildly interesting to me. Sausage, yummy. Potatoes, yummy. But that was about all I knew. I learned that there was much more to German food, but it doesn't matter much. Here, I'm still stuck with the oh-so Berlin burrito addiction. I just can't get enough of them. Berlin has lots of great burrito choices. There's an old favorite, Dolores, and the Maria Bonita in Prenzlberg, Santa Maria in Kreuzberg, and other places popping up all the time. Burritos are my life force, and thankfully, Berlin is doing them quite well.
On number 2, we have Tokyo, Japan, and ramen. For the Japanese, food is a means to establish bonds between friends and family, and is viewed as one of the pillars of society. And the sheer variety in the cuisine, from sushi, ramen, and yakitori to the highly coveted Japanese A5 Wagyu beef and the ubiquitous sticky rice, they're all mind-boggling. When you arrive in Tokyo, you will be greeted with an abundance of ramen choices. It's available everywhere. In the airport, the train stations, all over the Tsukiji, department stores, basement grocery stores, and dozens of restaurants everywhere. Wherever you look, there is ramen.
Italy and pasta. One of the top things on most foodies' bucket list is to take cooking classes in Italy. We dream of making tender homemade pasta and rich meaty tomato sauce. Just like us, most Italians have a bowl of gnocchi or a generous slice of fritta as a main meal on weekdays. Lunch was traditionally more extensive. In modern Italy, you can still see this tradition on Sundays and public holidays, and even at formal restaurants. Italian food is world-renowned. But when in Italy, the food is just so much more than you could imagine. Pasta is a staple. Almost every village in Italy has its own variation, but at its base, it's just flour, egg, and water. In the end, there is nothing more romantic than Italian food.
Mumbai, India, and its street food. Would you look at that? My city made it to the list. Mumbai, the city of dreams, is truly a magical place for not just aspirers but for foodies also. Its cultural diversity is what attracts people, which can totally be seen in the culinary richness the city offers. There are a number of dishes to eat in Mumbai with countless flavors, colors, and textures. One can easily taste the true flavors of Mumbai's best dishes without even worrying about the pockets. Vada pav is a fan favorite food item in Mumbai. Whether if it's for breakfast, lunch, or tea time, vada pav can go with anything. It is made from mashed boiled potatoes mixed with green chilies, lime juice, turmeric, ginger, garlic, coriander leaves, which is then dipped in a basin batter and finally fried. It is usually dished up with green chutney or fried green chilies. It's a mouth-watering goodie.
Marrakesh and Bastilla. When you're taking a stroll through one of the winding alleyways of the Medina or checking out one of the many food stalls in Dejma Elfna Square, there is certainly no shortage of good food to be found in Marrakech. The colourful sights and the aromas of dried spices in the souk and the plethora of fresh fruit and vegetables lining the street sides make it clear that this city has plenty of culinary surprises waiting to be discovered.
Here are the top foods you should definitely try if you're ever in Morocco. This unique Moroccan dish resembles a savory meat pie and makes use of both sweet and salty flavors. Usually filled with shredded meat, slow cooked in broth and spices, Bastilla is layered on the outside with a crispy, flaky pastry that is often topped off with a dusting of powdered sugar, cinnamon, and toasted almonds. The mixture between the luscious aromatic flavors of the meat mixed with the buttery, sweet flavors of the pastry will leave you wondering why you've never tasted anything like it before. Now I know food isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I honestly believe it's an important part to experiencing and even understanding a new culture. In so many countries, the food and drinks are so intertwined into the cultural traditions that it's impossible to ignore. Some places even go so far as to designate the local culinary traditions as tourist destinations. With that, let's move on to the next segment.
Food and art. Good food is like good art. It is aware of its environment and can create memories and evoke feelings in much the same way. So here's a short poem. O food, your glory is so great, strength of limbs you generate. It should be of our own choice, or your guileless friends rejoice. O delicious, sweet, luscious food, come, see all health it includes. All guile and ill health elude. Keep away from bad mood and feud. Nature everywhere food provides, in plains and plateau and hillsides. Just as wind blows everywhere, savory juices all over supplies. Food for creatures all types, of high, low neck and stripes.
Truly, Smaran, art and food work hand in hand. They both express feelings in a sweet but savory way. Moving on to the next segment, interview with the principal.
Good morning, sir. Now we have our honorable principal here with whom we would like to ask a few questions about his love for food.
Good morning, sir, and a warm welcome to the OOB podcast.
Sir, what role do you think food played in your life?
Good afternoon, both of you. It's so good to have this conversation. Food has been always an important part in my life, like I believe is playing a very important role in everyone's life. But the role it played has evolved over time. As a youngster, I was so very fond of food that I would gorge on it. As you grow older, you need to exercise caution about the portions that you eat, about the food, the type of food that you eat, etc., etc. So I think over the past 5 to 8 years, I've been fairly cautious about what I eat and the portions that I eat. Having said that, I should also say that it will play a very important role in my life. I love food.
Thank you so much, sir.
The experience of enjoying food is always one filled with ecstasy. What are your views on this, sir?
I really look forward to having good food. For example, the moment I finish my breakfast, I start wondering what's there for lunch. The moment I finish lunch, I start wondering what is there for dinner. So, I love food, as I've always said. And specifically, if you're going towards a feast, or if you're going to a dinner, etc., it fills me with a lot of anticipation, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. The very thought of good food makes me quite happy.
Food does help us remember nostalgic events in our lives. So, would you be kind enough to share a few of them with us?
I'm not too sure if I can narrate nostalgic events, but I can narrate two events which was kind of funny. I remember to have visited my paternal aunt's place, and we were sitting down for lunch, and we started having rice, and at that point in time there was a curry that was served. It was a curry made of mangoes, and I dread mangoes. That might be surprising for you. And mangoes specifically, added to a curry, it doesn't go well with me. So I didn't want to offend my aunt, so I ate that first. My aunt took it the other way around, and she thought I loved this mango curry, so she dumped me one whole platter of that, which brought tears into my eyes. Thinking back about that particular event, my paternal aunt is no more, but she was such a loving soul that I can easily say it is very nostalgic to think about my aunt, and by extension the mango curry. In the same vein, when I was in Pune years ago, we had some friends from Bhutan who had invited me for their New Year Day celebrations. And when I went in, they gave me Bhutanese tea. Now, Bhutanese tea, mind you, is made of tea with salt and cheese from yak. And one needs to really acquire a taste to have that. So in the same fashion as I did with my aunt, I gulped the tea down my throat, and my host thought that this was something I loved, so they gave me 2 cups more. You can imagine my plight. I have not had Bhutanese tea after that, and I'm saying it's possibly my loss. As they say, one has to acquire a taste for all of that, and over a period in time, possibly I'll get used to it, but I never tried it after that. Thank you.
Now, sir, what is your most favorite cuisine? And from that cuisine, could you please name some of the best dishes according to you?
I love anything that is South Indian vegetarian. And wherever I go, if I have a choice, I would first and foremost go for masala doshas. And if you happen to eat masala dosha without sharing it with me, you have a thing coming your way. I love masala doshas. Idlis with 16 idlis she made with stew, with potato stew. And she had no idea as to who she got married to. So I finished 14 of them. And that was the time she realized, oh my goodness, I didn't bargain for this. But now I can barely eat 4 or 5. But coffee is something I love. Good coffee elevates my mood.
Without any milk?
Yeah, milk is something like when I come in, as I drive in, if I reach the North Petrol Pump before 6:45, I straight drive into McDonald's and my coffee. If it is after 6:45, then I don't bother about it. Even as I park, they know me so well. Even as I'm parking, they would start making my coffee.
Regular. Is that black?
Yeah, no, I add a little milk, but no sugar. The same thing in Caribou coffee. I love Caribou coffee. In fact, what I do is I take my book and go and sit in Caribou coffee or Tim Hortons. Spend about 3 to 4 hours there. To me, that is stress buster.
That's good. Now that we know what your favorite cuisine is, sir, what is your all-time comfort food?
Apart from masala dosha, I also enjoy the South Indian thali. And the only problem is when I start eating rice, I really gorge on it, which is not really good for me at my age. But then, yeah, if you ask me what's my comfort food, it would be a good thali with so many side dishes spread there. Yeah, that kind of pulls me up, and that's something which I really look forward to.
Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time for the OOB podcast. On to the next segment. Welcome to the segment Riddle Time. Now, time to work those brain gears with some food riddles. This is the question. I am a cheese that is made backwards. What am I?
Well, I believe this segment marks the end of episode 2 of the OOB podcast.
Also, we would love to hear some recommendations on future topics or segments from you. So go ahead and type them out in the comments section below.